7:03 on Monday, October 27th. We are right around 40 degrees out there, a mix of sun and clouds today, highs in the low 60s. Good morning, I'm John Aaron.
I'm Michelle Basch. Our top local story, the federal government shutdown continues to impact the nation's aviation system. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says he anticipates more cancellations and delays this week as more air traffic controllers call in sick because they're not being paid. WTOP's Dan Ronan reports the problems are worsening and spreading from coast to coast, including here in the D.C. area.
According to the flight tracking website FlightAware, more than 8,000 flights were delayed Sunday, up from 5,300 Saturday. There were numerous ATC staffing issues at locations including Los Angeles International, Chicago O'Hare, Newark's Liberty, and Reagan National. Duffy was on Fox News Sunday.
We had 22 staffing triggers. That's one of the highest that we've seen in the system since the shutdown began, and that's a sign that the controllers are wearing thin.
Air traffic controllers received a paycheck 2 weeks ago at 90% of their regular pay, but Tuesday's payday would have been their first pay period solely for work in October. Duffy also said the training class of new controllers may also be impacted by the government shutdown, causing some candidates to drop out, worsening the nation's already challenged ATC system. Dan Ronan, WTOP News.
There's an apparent effort underway to get more Democrats elected in Virginia. Democratic House Speaker Don Scott has called for a special legislative session to begin this afternoon in Richmond. It will reportedly be aimed at redrawing congressional maps, a move Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin is criticizing. Virginia would be the second state behind California to try to fight back after Republicans approved new congressional maps in North Carolina, Missouri, and Texas. Redistricting usually happens every 10 years after a census, but President Trump has pushed for mid-decade redistricting to give Republicans an advantage going into next year's midterm elections.
Ahead of the November election, this is the last week of early voting in Virginia. A record number of people have already cast ballots, and WTOP's Neil Augenstein is talking to some of them.
We asked early voters here to share what were the issues that brought them to the polls. The answers included the government shutdown.
I had skin in the game.
I'm a retired civil servant, been through many shutdowns. This one is just very different and very bad.
Some wanted to make sure that parents played a role in public schools.
Back then, it was the parents kind of leading and guiding.
And the surge in immigration enforcement.
It's heartbreaking as a mom of a lot of kids to see families pulled apart, but the truth is, we also let them come in illegally. That's our fault for doing that, so you can't even blame them.
The number of early ballots cast is a record high for a non-presidential election in Virginia. In Chantilly, Neil Augenstein, WTOP News.
A controversial memorial is back in the Judiciary Square area. WTOP's Jimmy Alexander reports.
D.C.'s only outdoor statue of a Confederate general has returned to 3rd and D Streets in Northwest in a park by the headquarters of D.C. Police and is still surrounded by a chain-linked fence. Now, the tone on Juneteenth 2020, when protesters used ropes and chains to pull over the statue and then light it on fire, was quite different than its first full day back on its plinth. Now, the statue of the Brigadier General and Freemason leader was dedicated in 1901, and the D.C. Council petitioned the federal government to have it removed in 1992. The bronze statue has been in storage since it was pulled down, and its return is thanks to President Donald Trump's executive order titled Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History. From Northwest D.C., Jimmy Alexander, WTOP News.
The 50th Marine Corps Marathon brought thousands of runners and spectators to our region yesterday. Our own Luke Lukert ran it.
This is by far the biggest Marine Corps Marathon in history, 40,000 runners for this 50th anniversary. Just to give people an estimate, 23,000 roughly last year, so we're almost doubling in size, and it feels like it. There were so many runners out on the course giving encouragement, and what was really striking to me was just the amount of crowd support. It seemed to swell compared to last year as well.
And 2 Virginia residents won the race. Kyle King of Dumfries won the men's division and spoke with NBC4.
I run like everyone's gunning for me. I try not to look back because if you look back, you know, it kind of shows some blood in the water. So I didn't want anyone to know that I was hurting because, I did not feel great. I was hoping I looked great, but inside I was hurting.
Tessa Barrett of Arlington County took the women's title and set a new course record of 2 hours, 34 minutes.
The Washington Capitals have fired assistant coach Mitch Love. The move was announced at the same time the NHL suspended Love for the rest of the season. The NHL says it did so for conduct detrimental to the league, but did not release details. According to multiple reports, though, the investigation involves accusations of domestic abuse.
And coming up on WTOP in Money News.
How one beef processor wants to get more products to stores and possibly lower prices. I'm Dan Ronan.
Traffic and weather in 30 seconds.